Welcome aboard, everyone, for a deep dive into a career that's really got us on track today.
On track. I like that.
Well, you know what I mean?
I do.
It's all about train drivers.
Excellent.
We're going beyond those typical job descriptions with a little help from RoleCatcher.
A great platform.
They've got this really cool digital platform. It's designed to help people navigate their careers, and we are diving headfirst into their train driver, the complete career guide.
And it's a fascinating one.
Now, this guide really surprised me because it's not just about, pulling that lever and tooting the horn, right?
Right. There's a lot more to it.
What really stood out to me was how RoleCatcher emphasizes the communication and coordination skills that are needed.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just a solo job. You're not just in this by yourself.
Not at all. You're in constant contact with the onboard staff, the infrastructure managers, signal operators, all those people.
It's like a whole orchestrated ballet almost.
It is. A lot of people don't realize just how much communication is involved.
And that level of responsibility that a train driver carries for the safety of everyone on board.
Yeah, absolutely vital.
That really struck me as well.
And that's where those split-second decisions really come into play. You need to be able to think on your feet. Because when you're responsible for a train full of people or cargo even, the stakes are incredibly high.
And I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize, the amount of pressure that comes with this job.
Yeah, imagine a sudden obstacle on the tracks or a signal malfunction. Things can go wrong very quickly.
Yeah, you need to be prepared.
And RoleCatcher, they don't shy away from that. They highlight how important it is for train drivers to make those critical decisions, often under immense pressure.
And you need to keep a cool head.
Absolutely. You can't freeze up in those situations.
And then on top of all that, RoleCatcher also mentions the physical demands of the job.
Right.
I mean, it's not exactly what you would think of as a physically demanding job.
You're not just sitting in a chair all day.
No, not at all.
You're climbing in and out of the locomotive, maybe even walking the length of the train for inspections.
Yeah.
It's more demanding than it looks.
So we've talked about the skills, the pressure, but what about the actual career path of a train driver? How do you even become one?
Well, RoleCatcher does a great job of breaking that down for us, and it's quite a journey.
It is a journey. It's a whole career.
Yeah, it's not just, I want to be a train driver, and there you go.
Okay, so let's break down this journey that RoleCatcher lays out.
Right.
So RoleCatcher, they lay out this career progression for train drivers.
Yeah.
And it all starts with being a train trying.
Right. You're essentially shadowing those experienced drivers, learning all the routes, the safety procedures, really getting a feel for the rhythm of the tracks.
It's like an apprenticeship.
It is. You're watching and learning from the best.
Exactly. And then you move up the ranks, you become a junior train driver.
And that's where you start to get your hands a little dirty, I guess.
Yeah, more responsibility.
Yeah, you're still under the guidance of a more senior driver, but you're starting to take the controls, make decisions in real time.
So it's like supervised freedom.
Exactly. And it's where those skills you learned as a trainee really get put to the test.
And then eventually you reach that peak, you become a senior train driver.
The top of the line.
Yeah, you're in charge.
And what's interesting is RoleCatcher points out that a lot of senior drivers, they become mentors themselves, guiding that next generation.
Oh, wow.
So it becomes this really cool cycle of knowledge and experience being passed down.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a real sense of community.
Yeah, and that's not even the end of the line, right? Like with RoleCatcher, they highlight these other leadership positions as well.
Right, for those who want to keep climbing that ladder.
Exactly. So you could become a chief train driver.
Now you're managing a whole team of drivers, developing those operational strategies.
Oh, wow.
Overseeing the training. It's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, that's a whole other level.
It is.
And then even beyond that, you could become a train operations manager.
Yeah. Right. Potentially even a director of railway operations.
So you're basically shaping the future of train travel at that point.
Yeah, you're looking at the big picture, making those high-level decisions that impact the entire network.
Wow, from trainee to like the top of the industry.
It's pretty amazing.
It really is. And what I find so fascinating about this whole career progression is that it really highlights the importance of continuous learning.
Oh, absolutely.
You're never really done learning as a train driver, are you?
No, the industry is constantly evolving with new technologies, new regulations.
And you have to adapt.
Exactly. You have to be willing to learn and grow throughout your entire career.
Speaking of skills, one thing that RoleCatcher does really well is they emphasize the transferable skills that a train driver develops.
Yes, the skills that go beyond just driving a train.
Exactly, like problem solving and decision making. Those are crucial in any field.
Right. Absolutely. But when you're operating a train, those skills take on a whole new level of importance.
Oh, absolutely.
Imagine you encounter a track obstruction or a mechanical failure.
Right, you have to think fast.
Exactly. You have to assess the situation, make a decision, and often with a very little time to spare.
And under pressure.
Exactly. It's a true test of your ability.
It really is. And it's not just about the technical skills either. It's also about communication.
Right.
RoleCatcher really emphasizes how important it is for train drivers to be able to communicate effectively with a variety of different people.
It's not just about talking to machines.
Right. You're interacting with passengers, with conductors, with technical staff.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to be able to adjust your communication style accordingly.
And do it clearly and concisely.
Exactly.
Because when it comes to safety and efficiency, clear communication is key.
Absolutely. And that's a skill that translates to any job, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. Whether you're writing an email, leading a meeting, giving a presentation, being able to communicate clearly is essential for success.
And what's great is that RoleCatcher doesn't just highlight these skills in isolation, they connect them to a broader range of professions.
Right. They show you how those skills you develop as a train driver can be applied in so many different fields.
It's like RoleCatcher saying, look, even if you don't end up driving a train, these skills can take you anywhere.
Exactly. They have this great line in the guide, something like, the skills you learn as a train driver can be your ticket to success anywhere.
I love that. And they really hit home this point about how important real-world experience is.
Oh, absolutely.
They say, our guide is great, but it's no substitute for the real thing.
It's one thing to read about it, it's another to actually do it.
Totally.
Like, you can study a map all day long, but until you've walked those streets,
right,
you don't really know the city.
You don't have that feel for it. And that's where those internships, those apprenticeships, even just shadowing someone.
Right, getting your foot in the door.
Yeah, those hands-on experiences are crucial.
Absolutely. And RoleCatcher really emphasizes the networking aspect of that, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're meeting experienced train drivers, getting those insider tips and advice.
It's like a secret society.
It is. Those connections can make all the difference.
They really can. So as we pull into the station on this deep dive into the world of train drivers.
I like that, pulling into the station.
Well, we're going to wrap it up sometime.
That's true. That's true.
What's the biggest takeaway you hope our listeners are leaving with today?
I think the key takeaway for me is the importance of continuous learning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Never stop learning, never stop growing, and be ready to embrace those unexpected challenges because that's where the real growth happens.
That's so true. And you never know. Maybe this deep dive has sparked an interest in someone out there.
Maybe the next generation of train drivers is listening right now.
Wouldn't that be amazing? So, to all our listeners, if you're feeling inspired, check out RoleCatcher, explore their incredible career guides.
You might discover your next big adventure.
Until next time, safe travels, everyone.